If you have been feeling like things are lacking meaning or joy, or they just feel mundane and you can't put your finger on it, and you wake up and there are thoughts rushing through your head, and you're just, as soon as you wake up, you just don't have a moment to sit and be, or even pray, or just be with yourself, you're most likely going to your phone first thing in the morning, and you are overstimulating your brain. And you're most likely on social media all the time, scrolling, and I don't even know, like you're overworking your dopamine levels, like you're getting too much dopamine to a point where it's like you need an intense amount of it for it to feel like what it's supposed to feel. Because when you're on social media and you're constantly rewarding yourself with things, with scrolling, and you're constantly stimulating dopamine being released into your system, into your body, the more you're going to need. The more you're going to need in order to feel it. So if you're constantly scrolling, if you're constantly on your phone, and you are constantly eating sugar, you're kind of like, you're doing things to pretty much increase that threshold, increase the release of dopamine levels, because you no longer feel it anymore. It doesn't feel as intense. You find yourself feeling down, and you don't feel like you can be happy or that little things excite you anymore. It is most likely because of this. So what I started to do, and it's literally only been a day, but I've done this in the past and literally forgot about it, but I already know and feel that it is working and it is going to work. Sorry, it's a little windy. My thing is moving. But I've already done this in the past where I've stayed away from social media. I have just deleted my apps, which I will not do this time. But what I'm trying this time is changing the colors on my phone. I don't know if you guys have tried this before, changing the colors on my phone to black and white. It's called a grayscale, which you can do from your accessibility, and just keeping the first 2 hours of my day without a phone. So today I woke up and I just turned off my alarm, left my phone there, which I usually grab it and I make an excuse, and I'm like, oh, like I'm just gonna look at this one thing, I'm just gonna do this. And from the night before, I had already set it to a grayscale, so there was no colors on my phone, so I didn't really feel that urge to go for it because it just didn't look as interesting. And when you have, like, the colors on your phone are so intense that you, like, the things that you see around you in nature don't seem as intense anymore, don't seem as beautiful anymore, don't release the same amount of dopamine levels, because whatever is on your phone, whatever junk food you're eating, whatever sweets you're eating, they're like times 10 of what you're meant to experience, what is natural. So when you turn it to a grayscale, you're most likely going to start feeling that you're no longer interested in being on your phone anyways. So you can do this, and you can set a shortcut where you can, like, press 3 times on your lock screen and it will just turn into a grayscale. You don't have to do this the entire day. You could just do it when you notice you want to go on Instagram, let's say, or TikTok or whatever it is. You just set that and it will keep you on the app less. And so today I woke up and I just turned off my alarm, turned down my phone, and I noticed that when I got up out of my bed right away, I sat there for like maybe 5-10 minutes. And in the past, I would sit there for really long and I would stay on my phone and I would just keep scrolling, and then I would go from one app to the next. So it started with, oh, I just need to look at this one thing. Then it went from me going from one app to the next, and then it just turned into like an hour or two of me being on my phone in bed. And then I no longer wanted to get up. I no longer felt motivated for my day. I no longer felt excited for my day because I started it off so overstimulated, and then I got to a point where I would be on my phone and then I'm like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do this and I have to do that, and then I'm done with my phone and I'm like, I don't know where to start. Like, I'm overwhelmed. There's so many thoughts, there's so many things that I already looked at. Like my day already started off on the wrong foot, and I'm already overstimulated. I can't even ground myself right now. And even when I go and do a meditation, I've already just like done so much in my head that it's hard to bring myself down, when I could have just started off my day on the right foot, when I could have just started my day off on like a more calm note instead of overstimulating myself. So like I said, this is just the first day that I'm doing this, but I've already done it in the past and I've seen it work. But in the past I have deleted the apps, and oh my god, it is freaking life-changing. I'm just saying. I am not going to do it this time because I am posting on social media. So I feel like creating versus consuming, they're two completely different things. So I was consuming a lot of content, and that's why I felt that way. But when I create content, I actually feel so much better, and it feels so much more satisfying to me than when I'm constantly consuming and I'm not doing anything with that information. I would say it's definitely important to continue to learn and invest in yourself, and I know a lot of people go to YouTube and TikTok and a lot of different places for that. And I do that too. I'm always turning on YouTube videos to watch while I do my makeup, and there is nothing wrong with that. I don't think YouTube is as of a quick, what's the word? There's a word I'm looking for, like I can't think of it right now. It's like a really, it's like on the tip, it's like on the tip of your tongue, but you can't find it. It's okay. So I feel like YouTube is not this quick thing like TikTok and Instagram are. It's more like, oh my god, I really want to find the word. I don't know. Anyways, I feel like it's mostly about moderation and what you choose to do with the platforms, not necessarily that you have to delete everything. But me changing my phone into a grayscale is how it helps me create more than consume. So right now I have the colors on in my phone, so I'm literally training my brain. When I have the colors on, I am creating, and when I have the grayscale on, I am consuming. So whenever I consume, it's going to be way less than when I am creating, and this is going to encourage my brain to keep going to create. I also just want to emphasize that this takes time. I feel like it's a little bit easier for me now because I've done it so many times in the past and it has worked for me. And like I said in one of my past videos, it really is all about like going through the same patterns over and over again, and then continuing to improve, continuing to change and tweak the pattern so that it becomes your norm, it becomes your habit. You don't have to start off like that right away. You will not start off like that right away, and it does take time if this is your first time. But the more you keep going and you tweak things and you find what works best for you and setting a routine that works best for you, and not getting so consumed in all the apps and just being on there and scrolling and not really taking action on the things that you want to do, the easier it will become. Few ways that you will start noticing that this is actually working is you will start feeling more motivated to do things. I don't necessarily believe that you should just only rely on motivation, but you will start to feel like you have more energy to do the things that you want to do. You don't feel so overwhelmed and weighed down by so many overstimulating thoughts, and you will start to feel more happy, more excited for the day. I'm sitting outside right now and I already feel so different than I did a few days ago just by being outside. I can actually enjoy the outside rather than just sitting on my phone and scrolling and not noticing my surroundings. So just know that it just takes repetition and staying consistent with this. You got this.